How's everyone doing today, and welcome back to the realistic connected franchise mode with the Seattle Seahawks. Just 2 weeks after losing to the San Francisco 49ers in Seattle, we get a rematch against them. Will Seattle actually win a game against San Francisco, or is San Francisco going to complete the divisional sweep against their division rival Seahawks? Here we are at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, for those that didn't know. And as you can see right here, Seattle and San Francisco about to come out of the tunnel. Here we go. Seattle's coming out of the tunnel led by Russell Wilson. Of course, on the other side, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. There's Kyle Juszczyk right there, the fullback, the league's best fullback. So we take a look right there at Jimmy Garoppolo. This game has a lot of meaning, by the way. As you see the records right here, Seattle's still the firm leader. But San Francisco, with a win here today, could possibly bump Seattle down to the 5th seed in the wildcard race, depending on how the league plays out. With 3 games left, there's little room for error, and this is going to be a huge game for both sides. I expect both teams to bring their absolute best. As we see, the 49ers are going to receive the football first, as you saw Janikowski put the tee down. And here we go, Sebastian Janikowski getting ready to kick this thing off, and here we go. Trent Taylor, the deep man to receive, and he is going to take a knee. Possibly could have ran it out right there, but choosing not to. And here's a look at Jimmy Garoppolo. It's been a rocky season. You see those 15 interceptions, but almost 3,500 yards and a solid completion percentage to go along with it. Garoppolo, of course, traded last season by the New England Patriots for a second-round pick, and the 49ers have loved him since coming over. Of course, they finished out their season on a winning streak. And by the way, if you guys don't remember, we have Earl Thomas back from last week. But last week we lost 2 defensive ends, Frank Clark and Dion Jordan. So in this game, we're going to have Marcus Smith. As you see the catch right there by Garcon, we're going to have Marcus Smith and Rashawn Green as the defensive ends right there. And, you know, those are guys who are backups. Some play special teams. It's just really hard to believe that 2 defensive ends are down for this defense. Garoppolo now. He's going to fake it to Kyle Juszczyk, and immediately Rashawn Green, filling in for Frank Clark today, comes in with the sack. As you see the inactives right there, we still have a couple of weeks for Ed Dixon's return. Dion Jordan, I think, won't be available until wildcard weekend, and Frank Clark will not be available till the divisional round, if I have the weeks correct. The full house set here for Garoppolo. He's just going to turn around and hand it to McKinnon, and he gets blasted by KJ Wright, and Pete Carroll is absolutely loving it over there on the sideline. A big catch by Pierre Garcon to start things off, but 2 negative plays just like that, and now here we are at 3rd and 21. 3rd and 21, anything could happen right here. Garoppolo going to take the height. He's going to throw it underneath to McKinnon, and McKinnon is going to be brought down by Bobby Wagner. The plan right there for Seattle will allow the underneath stuff, but we are not going to let you beat us deep. And now speaking, here we go, Bradley Pinion. He is going to pin Seattle deep inside their own 10 as we get ready to see the Seattle offense. Russell Wilson comes into this game, I should say, with 18 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. It's been a sloppy season of football for Wilson, but it's been pretty good as well if you think about it. The team is able to run the ball, and the job's pretty much easier for Russell Wilson. The only problem is a couple of bad mistakes here and there and some tipped passes not going your way. That was a 2-yard carry just now by Rashad Penny, the first-round pick. And here we go. They're going to give it to Rashad Penny again. He tries to juke, doesn't fool anybody, and there's a 10-yard gain. That was Rashad Penny's game last week. 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had a big touchdown run against the Minnesota Vikings, and that was honestly the difference maker. 1st and 10 right here for Seattle. like we mentioned at the top of the episode, Seattle controls their own destiny. They are 10-3, but at the same time, they really can't afford to lose as Will Dissly catches the ball and gets the first down. Will Dissly has come along strong this season. Hasn't really had a whole lot of opportunities, but when he has taken advantage of them for the most part. Doug Baldwin, similar to what we saw last matchup 2 weeks ago. Richard Sherman is probably going to shadow over to that side. McKissick with about a 7-yard gain, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what it is. And they're going to call holding on Ethan Pokich. So it's 1st and 16. It's a big run right there too, and you hate to hear it get called back, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Nick Vanett, the man in motion. Gonna line up over there by Dwayne Brown. McKissick now, nice spin move, and he is gonna pick up about 6 yards. Brought down by Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas, of course, a first-round pick, a couple of first-round picks on this San Francisco defensive line. You look at Eric Armstead, you look at DeForest Buckner, who's probably the best of the trio. And then, of course, the man in the middle, Reuben Foster, also a first-round pick. 3rd and 6, though, we're going to have to see what Seattle's going to do. Seattle, of course, like we mentioned, their first-round pick was Rashad Penny last season. 3rd and 6. What a read right there from K'Wan Williams. He saw the quick pass coming and he just left his assignment to go get J.D. McKissick. Very smart right there. Very instinctive play from K'Wan Williams. The only thing is, that could burn you in the future. You never know. As Dante Pettis is going to be the return man, brought down by Byron Maxwell. If you guys do remember, early on in the season, Byron Maxwell was a part of the starting cornerback lineup. But because he just wasn't playing too well, we decided to take him out. And we're rocking out with Dante Johnson at times as well. Garoppolo now. He's just going to hand it off to McKinnon. It's a fumble. Interesting stuff going on right there. So McKinnon runs into his own player. He's trying to use that player's leverage, and now McKinnon's hurt. McKinnon also fumbles on the play, and Graham Selleck is just able to pick it up. Opportunistic moment from him. Now Matt Breida, the other Georgia Southern running back in the league, is in this game. And it's a give to Breida, and he is brought down by KJ Wright, but not before getting a first down. Matt Breida showed a lot of spurts throughout his career, and they bring in Jerick McKinnon. Breida feels like he's not getting those opportunities, but he finds himself with a hell of an opportunity right now. Let's see what he can do. And Breida just running through the holes, and he picks up about 6 right there on the play. Brought down by Earl Thomas. This is a team that can really run the football as well. You saw last game with Jerick McKinnon having over 100 yards. Matt Breida could probably replicate the same success. As you see right there, what a block. Almost falls ahead for the first down. As you see right there, Breida gets about 3. Take a look at the 49ers offense. Mike McGlinchey, their first-round pick this season on the offensive line. And if you look at the receiving options, George Kittle, a up-and-coming tight end in the league. A lot of buzz about him, and a lot of executives really like his game. We see right here, Seattle almost picked off right there by Earl Thomas. He was looking for Kyle Juszczyk. Fourth and inches, could be a fake. No, Pinion's going to actually punt it. And Lockett, not even going to receive it. It goes in the end zone. And we have a stalemate right here. Both offenses, no points on the board. It wasn't the story last game. San Francisco came out firing. Here's Russell Wilson. It's a play action. Or Wilson's just going to throw it away. No need to force anything in the coverage. Possibly could have looked at Doug Baldwin, but you have to be smart with every possession. Russell Wilson's already had a lot of turnovers this season. You're just going to have to be smart with those opportunities. And Rashad Penny is going to get the carry, and look at Jeremiah Tachu fighting through the block right there of Dwayne Brown to make a play. And now it's 3rd and 8, and Russell Wilson and company, they're going to go 5 wide. And here we go. It's a 5-man blitz, and Russell Wilson just overthrows Nick Vannett. The pressure was coming, one of those exotic blitzes that brought a corner and a linebacker. Wilson just forced to throw something, and it wasn't what you expected. Just missing Nick Vannett. Michael Dixon, the Aussie-born punter, is going to kick this thing off. Dante Pettis receives it at the 24, and Maxwell is able to wrap him up quickly. Maxwell proven to be a pretty good player right now on special teams. Maybe the new role has brought new light to his career. Matt Breida still remains in the backfield as we look to learn more about McKinnon. It's a play fake. And what a throw to Garcon. Pierre Garcon right there against Shaquille Griffin. Both catches on play action for Pierre Garcon. He just makes the most of it every single time. I formation for Garoppolo. He's going to turn around and hand it off to Breida. As you see right there, Barkevius Mingo is the man that brings him down, and we are headed to the 2nd quarter. A 6-yard gain right there for a 6-yard gain, as you can see right there on the play. Incomplete right there from Garoppolo. He just sails it out of bounds. I think he wanted George Kittle, but old Thomas is over there shadowing George Kittle. And here we go, Garoppolo. He finds Trent Taylor immediately. He was lined up on a linebacker. I think it was KJ Wright. A disadvantage on running those 4-3 looks is in the 3-receiver set, you're probably going to get a linebacker on a wide receiver. And for Trent Taylor, fortunate for him, he was able to eat out there on that play. Foaming at the mouth, Garoppolo, an out route, quick out route to Kittle, broken up by Bobby Wagner. Wagner, of course, coming off an incredible performance, had 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, was NFC Defensive Player of the Week. I mean, Bobby Wagner absolutely killed it. Hopefully he can replicate that success. And Kittle again with the catch, but he only gets a 1-yard gain as momentum kind of carried him back on the play, and he's brought down by Justin Coleman. This San Francisco team, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see what they do throughout the rest of this stretch if they want to make the playoffs. A play action play to Kyle Juszczyk. He throws it down the middle, and there's Earl Thomas. There's the ball-hawking safety, Earl Thomas. What a play. Welcome back, Earl Thomas. He came back last week, but he was kind of just feeling things out. And now the center fielder is making plays. The center fielder for the defense, at least, our free safety. Trying to make all the plays possible, and Russell Wilson's got to love it. Earl Thomas with a big-time takeaway. Now the goal is, you got to get some points. And there's a quick pass to Baldwin, but it's broken up by Jimmy Ward. Wilson had no choice as he had DeForest Buckner right in his face. 3 tight end set. Chris Carson has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen. He's in this game. Trey Madden goes in motion. It's a give to Carson. Carson trying to power his way ahead. He had a burst just for a second. Things were clearing out, but Solomon Thomas brings him down from behind. Here we go, Russell Wilson. He's going to throw it to Doug Baldwin. Baldwin doing everything he can to hang on to it, and a first down is picked up. About 16 yards right there from Doug Baldwin on the slant pass. 17. They actually give him 17. Good luck. Baldwin, he's been shadowed pretty much by Richard Sherman every play. There's been a couple of plays where he hasn't been, but they've been run plays. As you see, speaking of running, Rashad Penny just powering through for about 8 yards, and he is now at 500 yards. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but for a guy who's kind of had to earn his opportunities and has also been injured, it's kind of a big deal. And there's Russell Wilson. He's going to throw it to Tyler Lockett. Makes Richard Sherman's ankles break. And he is brought down quickly by Toomer and Witherspoon. A 7-yard gain right there on the fake screen. Sherman chose the correct thing. He went to cover Doug Baldwin, but Lockett was just sitting there waiting. Chris Carson back in the game, and Carson trying to power ahead. Doesn't have a whole lot to work with, but he gets a yard. Chris Carson, another one of these running backs, late round draft picks, very high on him, and the organization really likes him. And here's Rashad Penny. He is going to take this to the outside. Makes a man miss. And he is going to be brought down quickly. Jaquiski Tart, who I think was the player that ended up tackling Rashad Penny, he goes down quickly. Not a good look for Seattle. You hate to see not for San Francisco, I should say. You hate to see one of your starting safeties go down. And here's Carson again, just making the most, getting 3 yards. Brought down by Witherspoon. If you look at the play right here, nothing much was there, but he just finds that little crease, and he's able to get some yardage. Seattle is definitely in a good situation right now. You don't want to ruin this opportunity. And Wilson gonna throw it out to Lockett. Good defense from Ahkello Witherspoon. He was trailing Tyler Lockett and basically following him around. It's hard to keep up with a man of his speed and his quick explosiveness. But Witherspoon read him like a book. Stopped on the curl route, tried to get something going, but it doesn't work. 3rd and 7. Wilson just has to throw it away. So a field goal attempt right here for Sebastian Janikowski. And the kick is good. Good news for Earl Thomas. That takeaway turned into points. That was a huge contribution for San Francisco in the last matchup. 13 points off of takeaways and a 13-point win. So who knows how the game would have turned out if San Francisco doesn't create those turnovers. In this game, Seattle is going to have to take advantage of most of the opportunities, if not all of their opportunities, if they want to win this game. Matt Breida still in the game. No news on Jerick McKinnon. Probably going to be out for the game if we don't see him by now. Play action to Breida. Jimmy Garoppolo, head as he throws, or pressure in his face, and he misses Marquise Goodwin. Earl Thomas just had an interception. I wonder if he's gonna bring any more takeaways for these guys. Garoppolo now, a quick slant to Pierre Garçon, and he just beats Griffin right off the press. Griffin didn't stand a chance in coverage right there, and that play kind of indicated it. Garoppolo, he's going to take the hike. He throws an out route to Garçon, and he is brought down by Dante Johnson, the man that's been filling in for Byron Maxwell. And here we go, 1st and 10 for Garoppolo, and it's a give to Breida. I believe he was brought down by Marcus Smith. Kind of hard to tell from that angle. 2nd and 9. And here is Garoppolo. He's going to throw it to Juszczyk, and the 2-minute warning is upon us, and here it is. Wagner brings him down for a loss of 1. At the 36-yard line right now. This is Robbie Gould's range, so it's not too crazy to think that he can't make a field goal from this distance. Garoppolo now gonna send Juszczyk in motion. And Kittle, what a catch from George Kittle. Will that be enough for the first? No, it won't. So Seattle's gonna take the timeout. Conserve as much clock as you can if you're Seattle. Kittle did catch the ball technically past the first down marker, but then he came back after gaining possession, so they're going to mark him short. Doesn't matter though. Robbie Gould with the field goal. And now things are tied up at 3-3. It's anybody's game still, as there's 1 minute and 46 seconds left for Seattle to do something with this. And they get the ball at halftime, so there's a lot of things going in their favor. It's time to take advantage as Amara Darboh gets this to the 29-yard line. J.D. McKissic coming onto the field right there. Only 2 runs for 11 yards, but you feel like whenever he gets the ball in his hand, he's going to make a play. He's been that type of player for this team this year. And there's Russell Wilson. He finds Doug Baldwin on the out route, and he is going to go out of bounds after a 15-yard gain. It's a good play for Doug Baldwin right there. Just get his hands warm, get him going. 10 runs and 10 passes so far in this game. Russell Wilson, he's going to throw it to Jerron Brown. And he is already in field goal range at the 30-yard line. Jerron Brown, of course, the 4th receiver on the depth chart. Seattle only carrying 5 receivers on their active roster. They do have a few on the practice squad, but push comes to shove, they'll call them up if there's any injuries. Hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Russell Wilson looking for Tyler Lockett right there on the play. J.D. McKissic in the game now, and we'll have to see what's in store for him. J.D. gonna get the ball, gets the first down as well. A 10-yarder for J.D. McKissic. That run right there, honestly, just keeps the defense on its toes. They will run the football in that formation if they need to. And I think that's all it proves. And there's Brandon Marshall going up against Richard Sherman right there. He gets a 9-yard gain. Richard Sherman almost came back into the picture and picked it off. And Russell Wilson, these guys are just taking their time. They don't look nervous at all. And here's Rashad Penny. And they're going to call the timeout. A first down, though, for Seattle. First and goal now at the 8-yard line. This is what you want to see if you're Seattle. Just take your time. No need to rush anything. Russell Wilson gonna call a timeout right there. Second and goal. I mean, you can take a shot at the end zone, but the thing is, you don't want to get sacked. And well, if you're Seattle, you're gonna have to keep that in the back of your head. And Russell Wilson. And Penny's going to get in the end zone. Good job from Rashad Penny. Just kind of sits at the 1-yard line and knows he needs to get in. Good execution from Seattle on that 2-minute drive. They didn't look like they were panicking. They didn't look like they were rushing anything. They just flat out go out there with 1:46, and they just absolutely conquer what they were looking to conquer, which is putting points on the board. So they meet their objective, and now they're going to kick this one deep. Pettis not going to get a chance to return it, and it's 10-3. It looks like Jimmy Garoppolo and company, they're just going to take a knee and get this one to halftime. Garoppolo takes the knee, and we will see Seattle getting the football to start the second half. 10-3 game. Russell Wilson waiting to get back on the field. Looks like Robbie Gould is going to be the one to kick it. J.D. McKissic going to receive it. And what a play from McKissic, but he only gets to the 25, which is pretty much average field position anyway. Good play, though. Good play. Seattle has been pretty balanced today, running the football and throwing it, and it's good to commit to both because it keeps the defense honest. But Rashad Penny's going to lose a yard right there. Actually, they'll mark him down for no gain. And here is Russell Wilson. It's a draw play, and nobody seems like they were fooled on that one. It's 3rd and 10. They thought they could catch somebody off guards, but it just doesn't come to fruition. Third and 10. You just got to make a play. And Lockett almost had it. What a swat from Reuben Foster. It looked promising, but nothing came of it. So a 3 and out for Seattle. And a blocked punt. A blocked punt. Fred Warner's going to pick it up. A blocked punt from Fred Warner. Or not from Fred Warner, but he's the one that picks it up. It was actually blocked by Jimmy Ward. But Fred Warner was there to pick it up. And look at the 49ers. Now they're back in the game. That's a big-time momentum play for special teams unit of San Francisco. Breida gets absolutely drilled by Mo Alexander, but he picks up 5 yards. That is a huge momentum-changing play right there for San Francisco. Let's see what they can do with it. Garoppolo, they're going to give this to Juszczyk, who is going to get to the 1-yard line. And it's 3rd and inches. Only so many things you can do in this area of the field. Markevius Mingo, you see him there. 3rd and goal, and they are going to go play action. And he's just going to throw it away. He probably could have thrown it to Graham Selleck. Probably could have thrown that one, Jimmy G. But they're going to take their 3. Unless they fake the field goal, of course. Let's see what they decide to do. They're going to take the 3. An easy chip shot for Robbie Gould. Garoppolo could have thrown that ball to Graham Selleck because the defensive back was focused in on George Kittle. But a mistake right there from Garoppolo. McKissic doesn't want to bring it out, so here comes Seattle. I haven't really been paying attention to the bottom scores, but Arizona, who is also our division rival, picks up a win against the Atlanta Falcons. So if everything stands the way it is, they would be the 6th seed. Arizona, of course, not too far away from Seattle or San Francisco. You can't possibly rule anything out now. Good run from Rashad Penny. Now McKissic is in the game, and it's good to have a rotation. And McKissic now, he is in at the game. and he is going to tumble ahead, and J.D. McKissic looks like he's hurt. When he rolled over, he looked like he rolled over on that shoulder, and that is not a good look right there if you are J.D. McKissic or the Seattle Seahawks, because he has been absolutely contributing. 2nd and inches though. Rashad Penny going to take the carry, brought down by Jeremiah Atachu. Hard to see J.D. McKissic go down, man. He has been absolutely playing hard, and it's a dislocated shoulder. He is not coming back in this game. 2 running backs injured in this game. San Francisco, they lose Jake McKinnon. And Russell Wilson and company, they are going to lose J.D. McKissic. But here's Rashad Penny, who makes a man, not make a man miss, but he breaks a tackle, brought down by Ahkello Witherspoon. You hate to see any player go down, especially one that is contributing like J.D. McKissic, but C.J. Prosise enters the game. Here's a guy, and I hate to steal Chris Collinsworth's line, but here's a guy who used to play that role that J.D. McKissic's playing, the receiving back, the guy who would change the pace. And C.J. Prosise, who was almost cut this season, but they cut Mike Davis instead. Now they have both of those guys on the roster. And here comes Rashad Penny. He's going to get the carry, and Penny going to pick up the first down as well, a gain of 10. But C.J. Prosise, that's an interesting name. If the McKissic injury ends up being a scary one where he misses significant time, you're going to have to look towards C.J. Prosise, a guy who could do what McKissic does pretty well, but just not on the level of J.D. McKissic. Carson picks up 4 right there. But yeah, C.J. Prosise, a typical receiving back, can run some routes, very good at catching the football, can change the pace, just not as good at McKissic, so gonna have to keep an eye on that. Trips right, Russell Wilson's just gonna hand it off to Penny, and Rashad Penny powers his way ahead, and about a 7-yard gain. Now it's 1st and goal at the 2. And they're going to turn around and give it to Chris Carson, and he is not going to go anywhere. He loses 2 yards. DeForest Buckner got back there in a hurry. They tried to get their guys going, but it just didn't work. They're going to keep Carson in the game. And Carson just has an absolute hole to run through, and that is a touchdown. Those offensive linemen paved the way as you see Chris Carson trying to do his version of the Spinner Rooney, paying homage to Booker T. 40 plays from the Seattle Seahawks offense, 23 of them have been rushing attempts. It's not something you see every day. The commitment to the run has been unbelievable. Seattle now, after holding San Francisco to a field goal after a blocked punt, they're just coming out here and doing what they want to do. This game could be in danger of getting ugly quickly if San Francisco doesn't find any solutions to their scoring drought. Two receivers, 2 tight ends for Garoppolo. Matt Breida, of course, going to be in the game for the rest of it. Garoppolo now, he is going to throw it, just misses George Kittle. Not a good throw there from Garoppolo. He was being covered by KJ Wright, him being George Kittle. 3 tight end look now. Kyle Juszczyk is in the game, the fullback. Somebody jumped right there. Coleman was pointing at the tight end. Let's see. And it was a false start. So Justin Coleman was in the right. Garoppolo, same set as the first down play. It's a counter, play action. And he looks like he's wanting to go to Marquise Goodwin, but he throws it out of bounds. Probably could have hit him a little earlier and could have had a big gain. But instead, Garoppolo opting to throw that one out of bounds. Byron Maxwell's in the game. He's on Pierre Garçon. Let's see what he can do with this opportunity and this dime package look. And he is brought down by Bobby Wagner, who came in. His job was to cover Matt Breida, but instead he decides to take it upon himself and send a blitz. Wagner with a sack right there. Good to see Wagner getting some pressure as well. And here comes Tyler Lockett, who doesn't quite get the midfield, and there is a flag, which means it's probably coming back. And there you have it. Justin Coleman getting an illegal block in the back, and now the field position changes. Rashad Penny, the lead back, he's still going to be in this game, of course. Coming off a pretty good drive that ended in Chris Carson benefiting from it. And Rashad Penny, he's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play. He's at 82 for the game. Rashad Penny, like we've mentioned, of course, the first-round pick for Seattle. Kind of had to earn his opportunities after the preseason injury. And here he is, a huge contributor to what Seattle does on a regular basis. A bad throw from Russell Wilson, and it's almost picked off by Kerry Toomer. He was looking across the middle for his wide receiver, and he couldn't find them. And here we go, man. This 5-wide set, 3rd and 6. Procise is in the game. Normally that's what McKissick's doing, but Russell Wilson going to throw it to Vanett. And Vanett's going to make the big catch. A big reception there for Vanett. That's his first of the game. And now 1st and 10. Or is Seattle going to run a play, or are they going to let the clock melt? They're going to decide to run a play. And Penny's going to get at least 4 yards as we enter the 4th. Seattle now, it's 2nd and 7. Richard Sherman over there covering Doug Baldwin like he has been all game pretty much. And what a pick from Reuben Foster. He was looking for Will Dissly, and Reuben Foster with the interception. As possibly something that San Francisco needs. You know, they did score on that blocked punt, but they didn't score a touchdown. This could be the big play that they've been looking for. So you see they have their little bunch formation over there on the left side. Garoppolo gonna look to throw this one. Doesn't have many options, and look at Byron Maxwell on Kyle Juszczyk. Byron Maxwell with a big time play right there. 2 snaps on defense. On the first snap, he covers Pierre Garçon. He takes away that option for Jimmy Garoppolo. And on this play, he trails the fullback and baits Garoppolo into a bad throw. Maxwell might be getting a bump back into the starting lineup, but the question is, who is it going to be in favor of? A big-time interception just bails out Russell Wilson. And Rashad Penny, he loses some yardage right there. He's back down to 84 yards. Crazy. 2 interceptions in the span of 2 plays. 2nd and 11 now. And Baldwin, just a bad throw from Wilson, but he had Richard Sherman beat. Of course he's going to brag that he locked him down because it was a bad throw. Of course, Richard Sherman, a former Seattle Seahawk, after his 2nd Achilles tear, the Seahawks decided to release him, and he just signs with division rival San Francisco. And Brandon Marshall's going to get the football, and now it's decision time for Seattle. It's 4th and 3. I don't think they should go for it. And here comes Michael Dixon. And he is going to punt this football away, and it's going to roll to about the 11-yard line. Good punt from Dixon. Neither team did anything with their interception, but it's basically a stalemate again in the fourth quarter. Garoppolo now making some adjustments. It's a 5-wide set. They're going to go underneath the Garcon, and he is going to be brought down by Justin Coleman. Garcon powering through to get the first down right there, and he is now at 1,000 receiving yards on the season, so congratulations to the veteran Pierre Garcon. Trent Taylor is the slot receiver for this play, 1st and 10. They get the ball to Garcon again, and Marcus Smith, who dropped back in coverage, had to bring him down for a gain of 8. 110 receiving yards for Pierre Garcon on 6 catches. It's been an incredible outing for him, and he would like a touchdown to his hard work today, but Garoppolo's got to get him there. 70 yards to go. Here we go. A quick pass right there to Hikatini, the 3rd tight end, who had a false start penalty earlier, and here he is now just doing his thing. We got the dime package look again, and Pettis is going to catch it. Griffin almost was able to make a play on it, but Dante Pettis, the 2nd-round pick out of Washington, is able to make the play. All right, Trent Taylor's the slot receiver. Garoppolo gonna look to hike the football, and he just gets past KJ Wright, and he's still fighting. KJ Wright almost had an interception. George Kittle continues to fight. His 3rd reception for 27 yards, and that was his biggest play all day. Garoppolo, he's gonna hike it. Juszczyk gets to play. Maurice Alexander, who was actually blitzing on the play, is able to get there in a hurry. A gain of 2 for Juszczyk. 2nd and 8. Garoppolo gonna hike it. Juszczyk runs the angle route better than most fullbacks, and he's brought down by Bobby Wagner. Garoppolo 16 of 25 in this game. And here we go. Garoppolo. He's going to hand it off to Matt Breida, and he's brought down by Wagner. Selleck late on the blocking assignment. San Francisco, a top 3 rushing offense on the season. They really haven't had the best of luck today. Bradley McDougald, sub linebacker. He's going to come in and guard Pierre Garcon. We'll see how that one goes. Juszczyk beats KJ Wright to the point of attack, and Juszczyk with his 1st receiving touchdown, and you got to assume this team is going to go for 2. A 2-point conversion incoming right here. Breida's in the backfield with Kyle Juszczyk, who just scored the touchdown. And he is brought down by Mingo. Goodwin looked like he was open for a second. And now it's 17-12, a 5-point game, and that's huge because, as you see, Chris Carson returns. But yeah, that's huge because it's a 5-point game. It could have been a 3-point game. Could have put yourself with the potential to get a stop and get a field goal, which is easier than getting a stop and getting a touchdown. If you're following what I'm saying. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go for Seattle. CJ Prosise is in the game. Prosise now get brought down by former teammate Richard Sherman. Prosise with a gain of 8. Looks like anyone can run behind this offensive line, it seems like. They've been pretty improved in the pass, in the rushing game, but in the pass blocking, not so much. But here's Chris Carson who tries to power ahead. I think he's just short. Yeah, they're going to mark him short. 3rd and 1. 2-minute warning. Big play right here for Seattle all of a sudden. 3rd and 1. Hopefully somebody can just get the ball and fall forward. And that someone's going to have to be Rashad Penny. Takes a big hit from Reuben Foster, but he hangs on. And that's going to force a timeout here from Shanahan. Now, a first down basically ends the game. We see Chris Carson come back into this one. Trey Madden, the fullback, as well, in on the play. And the holes are going to open up for Carson, and he's getting the first down. That's probably it. If you do the math, Seattle would, be punting the ball with barely any time left if San Francisco's working with 1 timeout. 2 receivers, 2 tight ends set. Penny's going to return to the game. And Penny going to pick up a couple of yards on the play, brought down by DeForest Buckner. 2nd and 7 now. We're going to see what Chris Carson can do. Carson, he's going to take the football. Let's see what he does. He's going to pick up at least 3 yards on the play, and here we go, 3rd and 4 for Seattle. They're just going to let this clock run out a bit. And here we go. Chris Carson gets the football, and we don't know if he got the first or not. Let's see. And it's going to be 4th and inches. Seattle, they can take a field goal and make it an 8-point game. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Janikowski. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 20-12. San Francisco now 44 seconds. No timeouts. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. If they were just able to convert the first one, it would have been a 6-point game. You would have needed a touchdown, yes. But then you have that extra point that could win you the game. But you can only reminisce on it for such a long time. Dante Pettis not going to be able to bring it out as it goes into the back of the end zone. San Francisco with 44 seconds to work with. If I'm San Francisco, you're going to have to throw a lot of out routes. You're going to have to rely on those sidelines. So these slot receivers may not be the way to go. You're going to have to throw some out routes. And Garoppolo throws it to Goodwin. Tight coverage right there from Griffin, but Griffin not able to make the play. Garoppolo, he's going to hike it, and he's going to spike it. There you go. 52 yards to go for Garoppolo. 2nd and 10. Kyle Juszczyk is the running back in this scenario. We've seen him lined up there quite a few times, and he's going to catch it out of the backfield. That's no good because now you got to come back and spike it again. 3rd and inches. And now you're going to have to rely on a 1 play for your life 4th and inches play. 13 seconds left. You could try a Hail Mary, but if I'm San Francisco, you got to get that first down. And here goes Bradley McDougald. They have him back there just in case, along with Earl Thomas. And it's incomplete. Batted down by Dante Johnson. It was a tough situation. I mean, you could have tried to pick up the first by throwing a quick out route. But I think Seattle would have just left the middle of the field wide open. So that way they don't have enough time to spike the football. And here is Rashad Penny. He's just going to run it out. And what a game for Seattle. They get one on their division rival, San Francisco 49ers. After the embarrassing loss they suffered in their home building, they marched into Santa Clara and delivered their stamp of approval on the NFC West. Seattle, that is win number 11. You have to think they clinched the playoff spot. We saw some unsung heroes come alive here. We saw Byron Maxwell come alive. We saw CJ Prosise get a few touches in this game and make the most of it. And Chris Carson, of course, with the rushing touchdown. That kind of put things in the bag. And Sebastian Janikowski with a long field goal attempt. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more. And we'll see you next time.